At no stage was I ever going to give up. This is steep coming up here, this section just there. My first view of Albany. So I'm just leaving Cosy Corner. This is the last morning of the ride. Today is the last day. Today is the day I finish the Munda Biddi. The section up to the wind farm is not one that, well, I suppose I am looking forward to it, but it'll be the last big challenge of the ride. So we just got a short ride back to where we rejoin the Munda Biddi. So we've just come off the diversion to the Cosy Corner and we are now back on track, back on the last day of the Munda Biddi adventure. Today is going to be quite challenging with the climb up to the wind farm. Tempted to avoid it, but there's absolutely no way I'm going to cut my trip short at this stage. I haven't come this far just to wimp out. So let's see how the day unfolds, and we'll approach all the challenges with the new skills I have learned over these last 24 days. I had originally planned 21, so I think 24, I'm pretty proud of myself. Gone over budget in both time and days and money, but at no stage at the end of the day was I ever going to give up, even though I wanted to several hundred times. So we've just come off that gravel road onto some little flattish single track, a little bit narrow, but the actual surface of the trail very smooth, very easy. Hard to believe it's the last day. Really, really hard. I've come so far in more ways than one. And then this changes all the time. We've just arrived at Torbay and we have a little public toilet. What do you say? Never ride past a public toilet. Oh, the toilets are locked, so that's not going to happen. Established 1912, Torbay Hall. The fire station, we have what appear to be other public toilets. Let's just see if they are open. Yes, they are. I must admit I'm drawing things out a wee bit today because I want today to last, being the last day of my trip. So I'm trying to wring out every last experience, physical, emotional, whatever, from this last day. So stopping where I want to stop, riding through where I don't want to stop, just generally taking it all in today because it is highly, highly unlikely I'll ever be back here again, and I want to make sure I have gathered as much from the experience as I possibly can. This one, we are in Snakesville, long grass. I'm just going to tootle. I'll tootle along here. It is quite early and the sun, today I don't think we'll get much sun, so it is highly unlikely they'll be out this early. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, but I'm just going to tootle along here at my Cathy speed and keep a sharp eye. So I just picked up my first feather of the day. It's a good luck charm system I have where I always pick up the first feather I see of the day, put it on my handlebar and leave the previous feather in its place. This one's a bit manky, but it's more like of a talisman or a good luck charm. And I do it all the time actually, not just on the Munda Biddi. I always have a feather on my handlebar. It's my mascot, good luck charm, call it what you will. Unfortunately never found one of the red tail feathers. Very, very hard to find on the trail. Off on the right there on the ridge we have the start of the second wind farm. That's the wind farm I'll be riding up to today through the sand dunes. So we are definitely on a rail trail. Again, very reminiscent of the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail, which is my stomping ground back home in Queensland, southeast Queensland. And that will be where I'll be going back to, and that's where my rides going forward in the foreseeable future will be, until I try and discover what my next adventure is going to be. Who knows? So coming along here, I've just seen a couple of lizards, sort of black, shiny lizards. This is very narrow. Again, I'm on snake alert. I mean, just look how pretty it is through here. I'm going to miss all this. There's nothing like this back home. And I've just had, 1,067. I would have had 1,067 kilometres of experiences like this. It's a trip of a lifetime, there's no doubt about it. Again, we're back in the rail corridor, which is good because it's never more than 2% grade, up or down. So this trail runs alongside the main Lower Denmark Road. Good that it keeps us cyclists off the main road, plus it's a very pretty ride. Just passed a sign that said this is the Torbay Rail Trail. Just like that, we pop out of the rail trail and back onto a nice, I would say small gravel road. Small by comparison to a lot that I've seen over the last few days, that's for sure. That's what I'm looking for. The Elleker store, tavern and cafe, which in theory is supposed to be up here. So let's have a wee look-see. So here we have the Elleker or Elleker, I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced, store and cafe. So I just had a lovely coffee here at the Elleker or Elleker general store. There's a cafe next door. I actually had the coffee in the general store. So let's get back on the trail again. So it's always good to look for a bike path rather than riding on the road. Sometimes you forget to look and you end up riding on the road, and obviously when there's a safer option you need to take it. Well, we are crossing a railway line and it looks to be a live one. Not sure which line that is, but it's definitely a live railway line. A lot of the others I've crossed have been decommissioned or turned into cycling rail trails, but that one is a live one. Okay, so we've just done a loop on that gravel road and then we're back to the train line once more. Wouldn't it be cool if we got a train? So the trail just ducks and weaves its way around, avoiding these busy roads, which is a lovely way to get from A to B. See if this person gives us any space. Yeah, a bit, that was good. Because normally when you're on the verge like this, they don't give you any space, but both those drivers did, so they were very considerate. Often when you're on the verge, riding on the verge, they think, oh, you'll be fine. And they just ride their normal distance, forgetting how close they are to the cyclist. Okay, we go down here. Right, after this one we're good. Let's push, cut across safely and back onto the quiet roads again. So we're entering the Lake Powell Nature Reserve and heading towards the climb up to the wind farm. Me riding back about 1.5 kilometres to the umpteenth dozen turn that I missed up to the wind farm. I must have been off with the pixies. I'm off with the pixies quite often. being solo riding, you tend to be in your head a lot, thinking and just feeling, and when you really should be keeping your eyes peeled for those little yellow posts with those blue arrows. So yeah, just effectively added another probably about 3k to the day's ride today. I even looked at that bridge. I don't know how I missed that one. Anyway, let's get back on. That was an extra maybe 4k. This is more like it. This is not a tar sealed road, that's what I was on 2 seconds ago. Yeah, all through the trail I've been doing that a lot, and all I can put it down for is my mind. When I ride solo, I do a lot of processing of things, and quite often you miss vital turns. It'd be interesting to add up the number of extra kilometres I've done as a result of my inattentiveness, because the signage is actually very good. Well, I guess we're pushing up that one. First of many. Oh. It's steep. Right, I think we're coming into the start of the climb up to the wind vanes. I'm going to try and ride as much of it as I can. Just take a look in through there, this paperbark tree. It's very Lord of the Rings-ish. So I'm just taking it in little stages up this windy bit to the wind farm. So far the track here, very well formed. It's probably going about 10% would be my guess. You know, it's only like 10:30 in the morning, so I've decided I'm just going to take it at party pace and just push up these steep bits. And you know, for all I know, this could be the pussy bit and there's steeper bits to come. Let's just wait and see. We've got a view there through to the lagoon. We're about halfway up to the wind farm. Something tells me we've got harder than this ahead of us. I think there's going to be a direct straight line for, my guess is a couple of 100 metres up. So I've just got to do it, I guess. Not going to stay here for the rest of my life, am I? Again, another beautiful view through to the lagoon. I suspect just around the corner here is the bit that everyone talks about, which is the sandy, straight up the hill bit. And am I correct? What do you think? Yep, so all we have to do is get by on this one, and then we can tuck that under our belt. Let's do it. So this is it, I believe. This will probably go on for about maybe 200 or 300 metres. I'm not riding up here. I don't even know what is it? What elevation it is? What grade rather? It's not telling me. Steep grade. Push your bike up grade. I'm sure some people could ride up here. If you're on a really light carbon fibre bike with zero luggage, gravel bike, and you are pretty fit, you'd be up here no problem. Thought that was steep. This is steep coming up here, this section just there. I'll get up there pushing. I don't know how many people would ride up there. Luckily it's not too hot today, it's quite warm. I'm just basically pushing the bike from shady patch to shady patch. having a breather, a bit of a rest, having some water. You know, it's the tortoise and hare syndrome, whatever. It's the tortoise and hare, and if you keep on going, you get there. I just basically looked at the tyre tracks to pick out the easiest line for walking and for getting good foothold up here. So after much pushing and puffing, made it up there. Be interesting to see what the rest of this part of the trip is like, this trail. Oh, I'm stuffed. Well, we appear to be at the top. So my guess is you look behind you. Look at that view. Just come up here. Pushed. No shame in pushing. And the bloody horsefly's biting me. That's something new. By the way, the horseflies or marsh flies are horrendous over here. They don't itch or anything, they just bite and it hurts. Okay, let's see what the rest of this trail is like. Hey, we must be at the top. The trail goes this way, so obviously it must start skirting along the top of the wind farm here. Now you notice the speed of that turbine compared to the ones along the other day when I was running along the trail from Greens Pools Elephant Rocks through to Denmark. The wind is way down today by comparison, which I'm quite pleased. It hopefully should make the cycling a little bit easier. Not so good for power generation, but good for us Munda Biddian cyclists who are attempting to get to Albany. One last view from the top before I believe we'll turn around, and that view will be replaced by an ocean and wind farm view. So we're just running along this pathway leading up to the wind farm. Oh, parts of it are quite, man, for me, steep. For me. Oh, I'm tired now. We're getting closer to the start of the wind farm. Again, notice how slowly those vanes are turning compared to the other day. Wind is definitely way down. I've still got my debrim on. It's certainly a lot more pleasant cycling today than it was a couple of days ago. I must admit I am dragging it out a bit today, going slow. I sort of don't want this to end, and as a result I'm just taking my time, taking in the, oh look at that, taking in the scenery, enjoying being on the bike, looking at all the life that's around me, the insect life, the greenery, the vegetation, because very, very soon all of this will be just a distant memory. So this is where the trail joins the main road that brings everyone else up to the wind farm. I'm going to ride up here to see if we can get a view down onto the sea from here. Oh yeah, bumpy. Might have to leave the bike. Been carrying this for a couple of days. My dead set favourite, a Whitaker's peanut slab. What better place to have a munch, get some energy. Just saw another car, which is unusual, haven't seen one for a while. So I'm pretty sure the trail is just going to skirt along the top of this range where all the wind farm is, and then hopefully drop back down. Well, not hopefully, it will drop back down, and there'll be the home stretch into Albany. Sort of don't want it to finish. I'm sort of dawdling. I don't know if you can tell. I'm dawdling. It's going to be really weird to ride into Albany. 24 days. Didn't think I was going to make it, to be honest. Almost gave up several times for a multitude of reasons, physical, emotional, you name it. A bit more windier here. Quite an extensive view. Maybe I can zoom in on it. Out across the bay, looks like islands, or possibly some form of headland out there. There's a few islands dotted along there. Actually, geez, there's quite a few wind vanes down here. Here you go, my first view of Albany. Look at that. There, 1,067 kilometres. That's my destination. I'll be there soon. I'm just having a wee cry to myself because I didn't think I'd ever make it. I'm actually quite happy, but it's just so emotional. It's the biggest thing I've ever done in my life, and I didn't give up on it for once. I'm the world's biggest quitter. I quit everything, or I just don't do it because I'm scared. And this is the one thing that I've pushed right through to the end. Okay, enough of this emotional stuff. Let's get this job done, shall we? Not far to go now. Let's get this cat in the bag. Possibly just made up that saying, by the way. Dog in the bag, rabbit in the hat. Let's bag it. Let's get the job done. Holy dolly. Can you see how many there are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there's Albany in the distance. We're getting itching closer and closer to our final destination. I don't know what to feel. I suppose I feel like every single other person who's ridden this trail end to end at this point. It's a mixture of bittersweetness, really. You sort of want it to go on, but you sort of want it to stop. Oi, that's what I call grinding up the hill. Grind. My legs have definitely got fitter on this adventure. Basically almost 4 weeks of 50k cycling every day will do that to you. So I just stopped to have a wee look at the app, and we're 13k away from our destination, which is Albany. I'm sort of wind vane towered, overloaded at the moment. There's been must have been about 15 of them. They're very spectacular, but after about the first 5 or 6, I think you've had enough. Okay, just worked it out. My Munda Biddi distance, 1,067 kilometres. Vertical rise, 12,354 metres. The number of days it took me, 24. My age, 65. I rode solo, unsupported, carried everything I needed with me, and also got the support of several amazing people who made me not give up, and you know who you are. Thank you. So just come down from the windmills, and I suspect that this is our last piece of gravel we will be riding on the Munda Biddi. We are now reached a tar-sealed road. I think I might put my flashy light on my helmet. We're not too far, I think about 10k, probably even less, to Albany and the finish line. Okay, let's go. This is a final push. Probably going to be some hills, even though it's tar sealed, but hey, let's just get the job done. Rising. I'm just listening to Pink Floyd again. I better not get lost. Okay, we hang a left here. Hopefully there'll be a bike path. I'll just look out for it on the other side. Yep, there's a bike path. And here we have Albany. I've made it. Okay, all that's left to be done is to follow this bike path and follow these wee signs. Now, this, my friend, has been my friend for 1,067 kilometres. Points where I go. It's on a yellow post, very hard to miss, except that this little black duck has probably missed it about 25, 30 times. So I hope I get a prize for that. So this is where we just get taken away a little bit from the noise and bustle of the main road and still hugging the edge of the coastline and getting ever so closer to Albany. To say I'm excited would be an understatement, and I'm likely to cry, so I'm just warning you in advance. The tears have already flowed at various locations today, and they're sure to flow again at the end, so stop watching now if you don't like watching a grown woman cry. There'll be tears of happiness, relief, joy, achievement, all of the above. It's quite ironic that you're in the Munda Biddi on a beautifully paved cycle path, but I'll take that, considering all the rough and ready locations that I have pushed this bike. I have ridden this bike over the last 3 weeks. It's sort of pleasant in a way, but it is bittersweet. At least I'm safe away from the traffic. So we've got a newfangled roundabout here. So I'm just following this bike path. I believe it goes around and continues on, so I'm just going to stick here. I'm sort of about 80% sure that I have to go up here, which is a pain because it's which way are you going? That way. Good-o. Oh, I'm going to have to ride up this mother. Oh yeah, there's the sign. Just there. Now we got to go up there. Woohoo! That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Maybe I can drop it up into high gear. Hey, just realised I have a tailwind. How good is that? I'm not quite sure what they mean by that. I'm not going that way, because that way... I'll look on the app. So no way am I riding there, so I've decided to ride here because it's just not safe there. I'll be turning off here pretty soon, I believe, anyway, so it's just a matter of finding the safest path that you feel comfortable with. Oh, tell me this isn't a steep climb. I think it is. Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, let's just do it, shall we? So on the homeward stretch, this is Carlisle Street, there's no verge, it's steep and the traffic's going fast, so I'm just pushing it up this little grassy side bit, which is not an awful lot of room, but it's keeping me off the main road anyway. So thankfully we've got a little cycle path here after that climb on Carlisle Street that will get us off the road. We're only about, I think, 1.5 km away from the finish of the Munda Biddi. Just thinking to myself, Albany so far reminds me a little bit of Dunedin, you know, with the harbour and the houses dotted around. Okay, we're on a bike path finishing the Munda Biddi. I can sniff the finish line. I believe it's just around the corner. Two towns this reminds me a lot of. One's Dunedin and the other is Littleton. They're both in New Zealand, of course. Harbour towns. Okay, this could possibly be the last turn of my Munda Biddi. We're getting close. Woohoo! Woohoo! Am I here? Where is it? Up there! Yay! 1067! Hey! I think I'm almost there. Oh! I made it! I made it! Excuse me, I made it! Oh, far out.